Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving into one of the most important skills you can ever build, communication. But I want you to forget about this as some boring corporate competency. Instead, think of this as your personal journey to excellence. So let's get started. I want you to really start by thinking about this question. Seriously. What if this wasn't about fixing a weakness, but about exploring a new, exciting map, one with some incredible rewards waiting for you? Because that's the exact mindset we're going to use today. You know, the biggest myth out there is that great communicators are just born that way. But that's not true at all. This isn't some magic talent you either have or you don't. It is a skill. It's a process. It is something that anyone, and I mean anyone, can develop if they have the right map and the will to get going. So, what does this actually mean in practice? Well, at its heart, it's about being proactive. It's about having the ability to look at yourself honestly, to really listen to feedback, to see where the gaps are, and then to set clear goals to close those gaps. This right here, this is the compass for our journey. All right, so if this is a journey, what does the map actually look like? Well, it's laid out for us in 5 clear levels. Now, I don't want you to think of these as grades you get in school. Think of them as destinations on a roadmap, and each one gets you closer and closer to true mastery. So here it is, our roadmap. We kick things off at the basic level of awareness, then move through developing, into proficient, on to advanced, and finally, we reach mastery. Every single step builds on the one before it, so let's check out our first stop. First stop on our map, level 1, awareness. This is ground zero. It's the starting line for everyone. It's that simple but crucial moment when you just recognize, hey, maybe there's some room for me to improve here. So at this stage, you start to hear feedback and it clicks. You have that aha moment, like, oh man, they're right, I totally interrupt people when they're talking. You might even make a tiny adjustment right there in the conversation, but you're not setting any big goals yet. You're just aware. Okay, so once you're aware, what's next? That brings us to level 2. This is the applied stage, where awareness starts to turn into real action. You're taking those first intentional steps forward by setting some simple, solid goals. So at this level, you're really turning that awareness into a plan. You set a specific target. You might literally tell yourself, okay, for the next 3 team meetings, my only job is to practice active listening. You might even go look for a book or a course on the topic. The key is you're starting to take action. Now we're getting to level 3, proficient. And this is a huge milestone because this is where you grab the steering wheel. You're not just reacting anymore. You're in the driver's seat of your own development, proactively making it happen. And the big game changer here is structure. You start using real tools like SMART goals. Making sure your goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. You're actively asking for structured feedback and sharing your goals with your manager or a mentor. You're driving your own growth now. At level 4, your vision just expands. It's like you've been looking at a city map and now you're looking at a world map. You're not just thinking about today, you're anticipating what skills you'll need for the future. And crucially, you start helping others rise with you. Yeah, your ripple effect starts to get bigger. You're creating a long-term career map, not just a to-do list for this week. And here's the really cool part. You actually start mentoring others. And you can see the results in things like better team feedback scores. Your improvement is now improving the team. And that brings us to the top of the mountain. Level 5, mastery. This is where your own personal journey becomes a beacon for your entire organization. You're not just good at it, you are the example everyone looks to. At the mastery level, you don't just communicate well, you teach communication. You're the one leading the workshops, coaching people. You're setting these huge, visionary goals that can change the direction of a whole team, or maybe even the whole company. You create this amazing cycle of improvement all around you. So let's just pull back and look at the whole map in one shot, from basic awareness all the way to exemplary mastery. I want you to take a second and honestly ask yourself, where am I on this map right now? Because you can't plan your route until you know your starting point. Okay, we've seen the map, but why should you even bother taking the trip? What's really waiting for you at the destination? Well, let me tell you, the professional payoffs are absolutely huge. First up, your performance just skyrockets. When you communicate clearly, you have fewer misunderstandings, less conflict, and your work just gets more effective. Simple as that. Number 2, your career starts to move faster. Why? Because great communication builds influence, it builds resilience, it builds emotional intelligence. These are the very skills that get you noticed and get you promoted. Third, and this is a big one, this whole journey creates a growth mindset. This process of reflecting and improving makes you more adaptable. It makes you a lifelong learner, which is probably the most essential trait you can have in today's world. And finally, number 4, your personal journey doesn't happen in a bubble. When you model this kind of self-improvement, you inspire your teammates and your friends. You actually help create a whole culture of development around you. Okay, so you're ready to go. You see the map, you want the rewards. So what do you need to pack for the journey? Let's take a look at your development toolkit. Think of these as the 5 essential items you absolutely need. First, you need a map, that's your self-assessment. Then you need a compass, that's getting feedback. You'll need supplies, those are learning opportunities like books and workshops. You gotta actually walk the trail, that's practice. And finally, you need a hiking buddy to keep you on track, that's accountability. And that third tool, learning, is just so important. Take the book Crucial Conversations, for instance. It boils things down to this powerful idea. When things get tough, you can avoid it and suffer, handle it badly and suffer, or you can handle it well. Seeking out resources like this is how you fill your toolkit. So we've talked about the why, the what, and the how. The map is literally laid out right in front of you. But, there's one thing a map can never do for you. It can't take that first step. This is your journey. You're the one in control. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. The roadmap is crystal clear. The tools are right there for you to grab. And the destination? It's absolutely worth it. So, what's your first step going to be?